Iridium. I've got a couple of idiots with me tonight. I've got Jam. I've got Dom. How you doing, guys?
Doing well.
Thank you. How's it all going?
Not bad, not bad. So we're all killer. We're up to 1998. Had a little chat beforehand. Bit difficult for Jam. This is possibly his worst year in metal ever, which is well, he hasn't looked that far forward, but it sounds like it's the worst one.
Are we going to put all killer in parentheses?
Yeah. Dom looks sort of somewhat satisfied, which pisses me right off, like he's got a good list. I again, for the last, like it has been for the last couple of years, I've had to do loads of listening to stuff that I've never heard before, just to find 10 tracks. So it's good in a way for me because I get to listen to stuff, but it's fucking hard work, I tell you. But that's cool. You know, that's the rules of the game. I've got to get these tracks. We've only gone for 10, and unless anyone has been living under a rock, you'd know exactly what All Killer, No Filler, Total Frustration is all about.
But here we go. Anyway,
but here we go. I've got to tell you anyway. So a couple of rules. So we picked 1998. Well, we've not picked it. We're going chronological. So we're up to 1998. So the rules are you can have one track of an album for that year, any album, obviously, your favorite tracks if possible. So you can't have two albums on the list. And also the track listing has to match the track listing of the original album. And it sounds like these are Jam's rules. It sounds like that rule has come a bit unstuck for him this year, which, you know, it's bad news, isn't it, Don?
He only has himself to blame. I mean, yeah.
Exactly.
No tears over here, man.
But I just want to say a quick thank you to everyone who keeps watching, and we get consistently people watching. We get consistent lists under the videos, giving their tracks. I mean, I think it's great. Cool. I mean, it is cool because it does take a bit of work. So then people that are still commenting and giving their list it's brilliant. I fucking love it. I absolutely love
me
it.
too. So
good.
I
always read them all. We all read them all. So
yeah. So keep going, guys. That is brilliant. So 1998 might be hard for some of you, but it's definitely for me and definitely for Jam by the sounds of it. But Jam's going to kick us off with his track one.
Yeah, it's it's not the best year. But I mean, a lot of the songs are really good. It's just the last few perhaps wouldn't get on the list. But anyway, starting with track one, and we're going to a big favourite right behind Lee there, and it's Iron Maiden from the Virtual 11 album. And I'm going with Future Real, which is the opening track.
Is real.
Exactly. A bit of Blaze Bailey going on. Obviously, a lot of people's least favourite album, probably, of the two Blaze Baileys. A lot of people prefer Sign of the Cross. X Factor, same as I do, actually. I don't like a lot of songs on this album. Don't like The Angel and the Gambler. Oh, sorry if that's someone's picked. I haven't got that far. There is one. I'm sure no one has. There's a big one. There is one good song in the middle of this, which I like. But this song is really good. It's really short. It's just a good album opener, which they don't do really short ones anymore. And it's good. Pretty fast. Pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. It's
pretty good for 1998.
Probably my favorite Blaze era Maiden song, to be honest.
Cool.
It's a good song.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's just I watched some videos earlier on of Blaze Bailey, and his voice changed dramatically. I don't know how long was he actually with Maiden?
Well, I guess about 4 years.
3 or 4 years.
Yeah, 3 or 4 years probably.
I saw some concert footage of him at the beginning, at the end, and his voice changed dramatically. I don't know if it's because obviously singing Iron Maiden songs ain't the easiest thing to do, and he sounded quite good at the beginning, and obviously it must have wore his voice down. Because I mean, not being funny or anything, I'm a massive Bruce Dickinson fan, but his voice got well worn down as well after a couple of years of singing Maiden songs. You can hear it, so it must be a proper strain on the voice.
Well, yeah, my only chance of seeing Maiden with Blaze with Dio supporting, believe it or not, the show got canceled that afternoon because of his Blaze's voice. So that was my only shot of seeing that later. Yeah, would have been a good gig.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I never saw him with Blaze. Iron Maiden. I saw Wolfsbane lots of times, but not together.
Never got to see them either.
Cool.
Oh well.
All right, good one, mate. What you got then, Dom?
Okay, for me, this is Badlands. Now, this is a sort of a unofficial third album, but it is released on label. I mean, on labels, it is official. But at the time, it was just they had some studio time for a demo for their supposed third album they were going to send to Atlantic to see if they liked it or whatever. So I think this whole album was cut in 8 hours. I think that's the deal. Yeah. They had the songs together and it was just record live in the studio. Doesn't sound demo-y to me, man. It sounds as good or maybe even better than their second album, which I didn't really like the production very much on the Voodoo Highway. I think this is a bit brighter and cleaner anyway. Anyway, this song is called The Healer, and the name of the album is Dusk. God bless the Japanese, because I guess these bootlegs were floating around for a long time unofficially, and then a Japanese label picked it up and released it as an album, and then eventually it got released around the world. But again, Japanese were first on it to offer them money to put it on. So as I said, I mean, the songs are together. It sounds just like it'd be a third album, you know, maybe a little polish here and there. Obviously, they're live in the studio, so when Jake is playing a solo, you know, there's not a second guitar back there or whatever. But other than that, man, the guitar tone is fucking prime. Ray Gillen singing his ass off, fantastic vocals. It's really good, you know. I don't think a lot of people have heard this because it was a bit weird, you know. First it was Japanese, and then I think it's been on independence throughout the rest of the world. But it's definitely worth hearing, especially this first track, man. It's a stormer. It's really good. So yeah, Badlands Healer from Dusk.
Cool, man. The Japanese know their music, don't they? I mean, all through them rough times, they fucking stuck by these bands, and that was
absolutely
that's one of the only places to go, isn't it? I suppose for some of these bands, but
yeah, and you know, a lot of times it was Japanese major labels still signing these bands or giving them money to record, so they could then shop the album around the rest of the world because they already had the money from the Japanese to make it. So there you go, Badlands. Posthumous, of course, but still good.
Very cool, very cool. Okay, so I'm going to a band. I think I've had them on the Killer before, from the 80s for sure. It's Steelheart, and they had an album out called Wait. And I'm not too keen on the album, to tell you the truth. The album itself, nothing like it. Their 80s output, if you like. Mind you, I think my favorite album was from the early 90s, which was Tangled in Rains, I think about 92. But yeah. Wait was okay, but it had We All Die Young as track 1, which is also from the film Rockstar, your favorite film, Dom. You like that, didn't you?
Yeah, I thought it was really, really good.
With Mark Wahlberg, of course. Yeah. The Rockstar film came out in 2001. And this does sound different than that version of the film. It's still a really good song. I love the track. I mean, it's from the part where he's actually auditioning for the band, if anyone has seen the film. Yeah. Starts with a little bass line, and then it's a really song. For me, I love the film. You know, I know Dom doesn't, but
I just really like that the last part where he leaves all that glam horrible rock behind.
Don't mention the end. Don't mention the end.
And plays in a cafe, and he's finally a real musician. That's my favorite part.
There's certain films that I switch off before they end. That's one of them. King Kong is another one, because I don't want to see him die.
Can't be Titanic. Surely not Titanic.
Yeah, I mean, just to veer off. Me and my missus watched the remake of King Kong a little while ago. And it got to the bit where Kong was floating on the ice when he just met up with the bird again, And it was a really happy bit. We both looked at each other and said, should we turn it off now? We turned it off just before they started firing bullets at him. I thought, have some of that. As you see, you've got to do that with Rockstar as well, because the Rockstar life is what it's all about. Not that fucking indie shit. Anyway, so We All Die Young. Brilliant track. Absolutely love it. I do like the version that he done a couple of years later for the film better, but it's still a great track. So there you go. Steelheart, We All Die Young from Wait.
I had no idea that was a Steelheart song years before the movie. Yeah. That's wild.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't sure, to teach her. So I was looking at these tracks because I wasn't with the album. It wasn't a big album for me at all. The earlier Steelheart ones were. So, but I knew I liked Steelheart. And when I heard the rest of the album, I thought it even sounded a bit more like he was getting into that, being affected by the music around them days. You know, it weren't kick-ass 80s sort of stuff.
Right.
But that was a sort of a stand-up track. And yeah, and then I noticed 2001, the film, and this was 1998. Wow. So there you go. Okay. Now, track 2, mate. What you got, Jam?
2, right. We're going to new bands, or new in 1998, and that's Godsmack on their debut album. Contrary to belief, they're not named after an Alice in Chains song, apparently. That's a myth.
Well, even though they sound like Alice in Chains, or try to.
Apparently not, but it could be Sully Erner, or what his name is, because it can be a bit of a knob. He could just be talking bollocks.
Yeah, I've never heard those 2 words, God and Smack, put together before the Alice in Chains song, but oh well.
Well, this is from Wikipedia, so it's got to be true. It's got to be fact.
Well, the thing is, Lenny Wolf had never heard of Led Zeppelin either, so maybe it is true.
Yeah, maybe it is. Yeah.
Anyway,
yes, track. This is the most famous song. Well, one of the most famous songs probably, and that's Whatever, which is a sort of signature song for the first album. It's a big single. I'm not a massive Godsmack fan, so I wasn't going to pick an obscure song from this album. I've seen them, I think, at download only because they were on. You know, I do like. There was one, not their last album, because that went a bit poppy, didn't it? But I think the one before that, it's got like 1,000 horsepower and stuff like that. So there's some good songs on it, but they're not one of my favourite bands. But this is a good song with a good groove, and one that I enjoy listening to. But yes, I'm not a big Godsmack fan, but good song.
But they're a big band, aren't they? I mean, they're not over here as such, are they? Yeah, but they are a huge band. Got a huge following. Got 2 drummers and all, haven't
they? Yeah, something like that. Yeah, a bit strange.
Yeah, it's a bit weird. Yeah.
Well, I think he drums, doesn't he? I think the singer, Sonny Early, drums parts of it, doesn't he? He doesn't drum for all of it.
I've seen videos of them both, like one on each side, just drumming and weird. Yeah.
So it's like a Phil Collins thing then.
Yeah, that sort of thing. Yeah. Well, he can't drum at all.
Only drums like when he's not singing type of deal. Yeah. Okay. Cool. What was the name of this track, Jam? I didn't catch it.
Sorry, it's Whatever, which is their famous, probably the most famous song they've done, actually.
Okay.
Well, obviously not.
Well, you're asking the wrong person. Cool, Godsmack. All right. I just have to defend Lenny Wolf, because he's not the one that said the Led Zeppelin thing. It's one of the guitar players, and he was kidding, but obviously sarcasm doesn't translate into an interview. So anyway, I just have to.
Thanks, mate. No, I like that you corrected me, because I feel bad. I would have felt bad if I was wrong, and I was wrong. I mean, I feel bad now. I feel even worse. So
because if Lenny Wolf ever calls you, you're not going to want to be the guy that said that he never heard Led Zeppelin. All right. I'm only thinking of the future of this channel.
Thanks, mate. No, that's good. Yeah, okay, I mean, I could get sued for the 16 quid I made last month.
Well, it's not about the money, man. It's about the love of rock and roll.
Of course it is, mate. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, mate.
So number 2 is the debut. Well, it's actually technically their second album, but their first well-known major label album. Debut of one of my very favorite bands still. This is Backyard Babies from Sweden. Love this freaking band. Just everything I love about rock and roll, they are. This is the album called Total 13, which a lot of people still think is their best one. Because after this, they signed to a major and had a bit more money behind the production. Some of the purists, I guess, think that they weren't as exciting then, but I don't know. I like everything they do. This is one of their very famous songs. You wouldn't go to a gig and not hear this song. It's called UFO Romeo. Just love them so much. Riffy, kind of this thing I've been talking about the last couple of episodes we did, talking about Michael Monroe and stuff, that kind of punk infused rock and roll. Backyard Babies, fantastic band. I still go see them whenever I can. Just one of the best live bands I've ever seen, and full of energy, just great. So there you go, number 2, UFO Romeo.
Cool. Yep, they went out with the Wildhearts, didn't they? Just before we went into lockdown, didn't they?
That was my last, my last gig before lockdown was that. Was it a good night out? Yep.
And wasn't there 3 bands? Because I went to that as well. But I don't know if I saw the Backyard Babies, wasn't it? 3 bands.
No.
What, they co-headlining or something?
supposedly co-headline. So yeah, the one right before Wild Hearts would have been Backyard Babies. So yeah.
Okay, I thought there was a third. Okay, cool.
Well, I'm going to one of the only songs I actually knew before, getting my list together. It's from the band Iced Earth, big favourite of mine. From There's Something Wicked This Way Comes. This was, I think, the start of John Schaefer's obsession with this concept album, Something Wicked This Way Comes, which he revisited countless times. This was the start of it, and probably maybe my favourite album of theirs as well. I haven't really thought about it, but they got a little bit more epic and a little bit more, not commercial, but they're more hooks than that at this time. They're less of a thrash band, I suppose. I mean, I wouldn't say they was totally thrash, but they had a lot of thrash elements before this, and they were slowly getting rid of them into more of a metal epic sort of band. And this track is called Melancholy Holy Martyr. So not that they're a Christian band or anything like that, but I think they are Christians. Well, John Schaefer is anyway. And
interesting.
Yes.
Interesting side step there, knowing what's going on now.
I know. But this is actually told from Jesus's perspective when he was being crucified. So it's quite a sad sort of sounding song as well. But it's his view of everyone watching basically as he's dying. So, but very somber, sad, but epic. It's not even a long song. You would have thought it would be, but it's like a 3.5 minute, 4 minute song, heavy in places, but really catchy as well. And everything I love about Iced Earth, really, I just love them. And he's in that song. I think I might have, at the time when I did an Iced Earth top 10 with Mark, I think I might have voted it as my #1 song. I don't know if it would be because I've had more time with the whole catalogue since then, but at the time, it's a brilliant song. So absolutely fantastic.
Couldn't be farther away from the Backyard Babies, so I tried. That's fucking brilliant.
There you go.
Jesus dying on the cross, and he's looking out at people. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. I don't know. He doesn't visit, like Iced Earth don't visit the Christian thing much at all, as far as I can tell. Even though a lot of the lyrics are very abstract, I suppose. A lot of bands are. You can't really tell sometimes what they are about, but that one's definitely about that. Quite a cool song. Very good. Okay, that's my track 2 done. What you got in, Jem?
Cool. Right, we're going to have a bit of space rock now, and we're going to Monster Magnet from their Power Trip album, and one of my favourite songs from them, and that's Space Lord.
Space Lord, mother.
I love it when Don breaks out. He's brilliant.
I do really like Monster Magnet. One of the bands I've seen a few times actually, and I like a lot of their stuff. Not perhaps some of the most experimental stuff they do on like Tab and stuff like that. But I just find it hard to remember what the songs are, if you know what I mean. If you don't hear them for a while, you know the song when it comes on, but you can't think of the titles. They're not necessarily linked in with what they're singing. But I mean, this is one that I instantly remember from Monster Magnet. I love this song. Always play it if I'm playing a bit of Monster Magnet, and it's got a really slow. If you haven't heard it, most people would have heard it. It's quite famous. It's got real slow verses, slow groove in the verses, and then it's got real loud sort of heavy chorus with, and it's just a great song. Really. It's about 5.5 minutes. Just a bit of, they're called space rock. I mean, it's a bit stonerish, I suppose. It's just rock, really, as far as I say. There's nothing that deserves a whole new genre for me. But there you go, bit of Monster Magnet.
Yeah, I would say, heavy psychedelic would be.
Maybe a bit psychedelic.
Yeah, they sound like they've maybe smoked a bowl or two.
Well, I know we've spoken about genres before, but we are going to have to do a show on it because it's just fun to talk about it, isn't it? What he's actually.
How the little compartments that we have to put rock and roll in.
Yeah, that's good. Anyway, my objective is when I get down, I'm going to have one of these. You're going to sing. I reckon, Dom. I reckon it might be the next one. I'm hoping.
Well, now I won't because.
Exactly.
Now you ordered.
Yeah.
This ain't no goddamn monkey show. Dance, monkey, dance.
Okay, cool choice though, mate. Excellent. What you got then?
Well, I just have to. The whole time since Jan mentioned that, yes, CKY was the opening band on that tour.
With
Hearts and Backyard Babies.
Has that been like going around your head? Is it?
It was driving me crazy. Yeah, CKY was the opener. Yeah.
Because I like CKY, and I think I saw them, and I didn't see Backyard Babies. I think I might have nipped out or went to. Well, I didn't know that. I didn't really know him. So yeah, I went to see CKY and Wild Hearts. There you go.
I know. Well, there you go, Dom.
That's a shame.
If only he knew the future and he knew he'd be talking to you, he would have stayed there.
Exactly.
Oh my God, you would have loved them. You would have loved them. Oh well. If they come back, you have to go, Jam, because that's definitely up your street there.
Okay. I guess if there was co-headline, I must have been in the venue. I just probably was at the bar. That was all. I probably wasn't paying attention. But go on.
Oh well. Okay, number 3, Hammerfall's back with their second album. That is called Legacy of the Brave, and the song I chose is Let the Hammer Fall. Hammer Fall, Let the Hammer Fall. I love when metal bands do that. Manowar have Manowar, of course, and pretty cool. But didn't really hit much of a sophomore jinx. This might not be as strong as the debut, but it's certainly listenable and got some classic tunes on here. If you know Hammerfall, it's they're not breaking any rules here, but it's good, solid metal. I'm not even going to say the P word.
Well,
it's just metal. God damn it!
I've got the same song.
Yay!
And I didn't know it before the show.
Oh, yeah.
So there you go. This came out of my looking for great tracks. And yes, I've got to make hopefully a correction to you though, Dodo.
Oh.
You said Legacy of the Brave. Sure, it's Legacy of Kings, the album.
Oh, you might be right.
Because was it Glory to the Brave, one of their first album?
Probably what I did. Yeah, you're right.
See what you did there, right? That's revenge for Lenny Wolf. Anyway,
thank God you had this song too, or else I would have gotten crucified in the comments.
I love
by all the people.
I love this song, and you know what you said last week. You had a bit of a go at me. I'm not going to say the C word, even though the C word means other word. When I say the C word,
not that one.
Yeah, but this is definitely not that, because it's proper metal riffing, pounding drums. I've written down here, true metal song, really. A bit priesty, but with a good singer. With a good singer.
I can just laugh. I can just laugh now.
Anyway, I love it. A really strong song, actually. Really strong. I loved it. It's sort of catchy in a heavy way. Really good. Really cool. So yeah, I love the song.
That's what they do best.
A match, man. Old
fantastic in 1998. Jesus Christ.
Let us know, Metal Crusader 666. Let us know what you think of our match.
He's going to be happy.
Oh yeah,
he's going to be happy.
Yeah. He is. What you got there, Jack?
And before I go, let's go to debut album from someone who was in a band previously, or supposedly a band previously, which was White Zombie, and of course it's Rob Zombie with his debut album Hillbilly Deluxe. I think it's got a longer title than that, but I'm not going to read it out. Can't remember what it is, but I'm going with number 4 is Living Dead Girl, which is still a classic Rob Zombie song that he probably plays most times, especially, I've seen him a few times, he's played that. I would have liked to have had Super Beast or Dragula, which were earlier tracks, which I can mention. But Living Dead Girl's another classic off the album. It's probably his most consistent album for me. He does great stuff since, and I'm sure there'll be other tracks coming off his albums, but Hillbilly Deluxe is definitely up there. It's obviously slightly different from Rob Zombie, than the White Zombie albums, but still in the same sort of vein, perhaps less industrial, I'd say. One of the best gigs I've ever been to was them. I think he played over it for a while, and I've probably mentioned this before, and he headlined down low for the first time, because he's done it twice now, I think, on the second stage. And I was right at the front in the barriers, and by default, I don't know how I got there. I think it was just empty, and I just sort of wandered up to the front in between bands, But brilliant to see live, because he plays some White Zombie as well, and it's a great stage show. Not quite up there with Ramstein, but it's that sort of thing. Lots of flames and brilliant, good stuff.
Yeah, I think I mentioned before, I saw him the second time, the headline that second stage, and I loved it. And I didn't know a lot of the music, but to watch it, and the music wasn't too bad either. And he does put on a show. you know, all the old horror films and stuff in the background, and obviously not as good as his films, but you know, just quite good.
What can be? I don't know.
Exactly. Anyway,
Living Dead Girl is one of those songs you still, you know, I think we've talked a few of these songs before, like She's So Sanctioned stuff, where you can play it at a goth club, you can play it at a rock club, you can play it wherever, and it still fills the floor whenever it comes on. So it's one of those everlasting floor fillers.
Very cool. Okay, what you got then, Don, for your fourth track, mate?
All right, what do I got? Fourth, okay. Well, I've got a controversial opinion. Imagine that. This is from my favorite Anthrax album.
All right, yeah.
Volume 8, The Threat Is Real. I played this album to death, and it still excites me when I put it on. Just the riffs and everything was just, I don't know. It was just fantastic. I know it's probably not many people's favorite album, but man, it hit the spot for me, especially in 1998. That never came out of my car. And I would play it for people and they'd be like, this is great. Why haven't I heard this? And I'm like, I don't know. People don't care about Anthrax anymore. Anyway, this is called Piss and Vinegar. And it's just as spitty and angry as you would think a song called Piss and Vinegar would be, just full of attitude and just balls to the wall, just fantastic. So I don't know, I can't say enough about this album. There's a few little incidental stupid tunes in between the real ones, and I know Lead isn't a big fan of that, and I'm not a big fan of that either when bands put these little stupid things in, but the majority of the songs are just really, really solid. And it's just a shame because nobody wants to hear them live. Even when I saw them tour this album, I think they did maybe one song and the rest was like Madhouse and, you know, Con Homage and stuff. So they weren't even playing the record that they were trying to promote anyway. So there you go. Bush era Anthrax for me forever.
Those, sorry, mate, go on, Jam.
So I was just going to say, I was shaking this. I've never heard it. It's one of the albums I ought to check out, I think. Is it, because they did, how many did they do? 3, 4?
4.
Best. Yeah, is it better than Sound of White Noise? Because I really like that.
It's my personal favorite album that Anthrax has ever done, no matter who's in the band. So yes, I would say it's better. For me, it's better than Sound of White Noise, but I like all, well, actually they did 5 if you count, because they did an album right before Bush was canned where they re-recorded Belladonna material with John Bush singing Greater of Two Evils. So I guess 5, but 4 are original, and this is the 3rd of them. Really good.
Yeah, you're right about the little snippets. I mean, it's only ever worked for me probably on Operation Mindcrime, which is in with the story. It's probably the only time I've ever listened to an album and thought, well, them snippets are good. You know, I don't know. It doesn't. I mean, it should be a concept album if you've got those snippets on, I think. But even then, sometimes I'm like, whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's just not, you know, it's just not repeated listening friendly. No.
Yeah.
But thank God with CD, you can just skip the fucking track.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. All right. I'm revisiting a band that was on, I think it might have been last year, it could have been the year before, I can't remember, but Balance of Power. I don't remember me talking about these guys. So this song is called When Heaven Calls Your Name. So this is one I had to, obviously didn't know about, so I've looked into this band. It's off the album Book of Secrets. Now, I said before, these are British. They're also a Christian band, which surprised me because I had heard them before, but didn't know they were. At this stage, they were getting a bit different than that first album, though. They're sort of bringing a bit more progressive music into it, but very catchy still. It's not, we're not talking, you know, Dream Theater, you know, or anything like that. It's just progressive bits. A really cool galloping riff. It's quite a long song, actually, 6 minutes, 21 seconds. Very melodic, like I said, and some amazing guitar work. I mean, I don't know, I'm really praising it, but I want to say they don't sound British, but that sounds like I'm having to go at the British music.
Well, you said that last time as well, so it's too late.
They just don't sound British. I don't know what they do.
They're so like, great, they don't sound British.
Yeah, exactly. But there's been some great British bands lately, actually. So I mean, I think it's getting better, to tell you the truth, with British music. But these they're just the songs that I have heard from this band are really cool. They are really cool, and they're clever musicians, and they can write a fucking good hook as well. So that's all about them. That's what I like, isn't it? So there you go. That's track 4 then, guys. Moving on to track 5, Jen.
Are they still around, do you know?
I don't know. They might be, but I'll have to have a look actually, because I haven't, because I usually
Calling Frontiers Records.
I mean, I try to, like, because you get these fucking YouTube suggest stuff and that all the time, and people send stuff to me. I haven't heard anything for a while from the band, so perhaps they have gone. Perhaps they have. Don't know. Anyway, okay.
Oh well.
Track 5, guys.
Right. I won't be too long on this one because, well, you can tell we're struggling, or I'm struggling a bit because I've had to pick a song that we've already had in one of our bands lists, but that's not the end of the world because I really do like the song.
I've done it.
You know, if you can't do it, you can't do it. So this is from Kiss, and it's from Psycho Circus, which is their reunion of the original band in makeup, of course. I think I liked the album at the time. I don't think it's got such a good press afterwards. I mean, people liked it at the time, I believe, but people sort of said, "Oh, it wasn't their strongest Kiss album." Well, it probably isn't, but I liked it at the time. It's a mixture of sort of the old rock and roll, but still sort of a bit metally, like they went in the 80s. But this was actually the ballad, and it's "We Are One," which I don't know what it is about this song. It's not a soppy ballad. It's just an upbeat ballad, if you like. But I always liked it, and it was either going to be this or the title track. I think that I would probably have had on it. So there we go. We Are One.
I love We Are One. I think it's fantastic. Yeah, it's really overlooked song. I think it would have gotten some airplay or something. Might have done something, but yeah. It's a really good Gene song.
Yes.
Cool. Excellent. What you got then, Dom?
What do I got? Okay, well, the man is back. Udo Dirkschneider with his band UDO. We are on the 6th UDO album. No Limits is the album, and the song I picked is With a Vengeance. Vengeance. That's what the background vocals do. Listen, we said before, he's consistent if not anything, you know. So he's got his sound, still writes great tunes. Doesn't really, as much as he has his own thing going on, he doesn't really copy himself as far as like melodies and stuff. So everything's good with me, man. I love his discography, and if there's going to be an Udo album,
I missed this one. I missed this one for some reason. I've got
in a year that we're doing, I'm going to put it in.
Yeah, I missed
UDO, the band UDO.
I missed his release this year for some reason. I didn't have it for 98, but I got it for the following year. He's got another one next year, by the way, just to, you know, you know anyway. But for some reason I missed
this. Is a really cool cover with it's like a monster, but it's made of like steel, almost looking like Freddy Krueger claws, and it's like it's in that.
Cool, very cool.
Yeah,
very cool.
So anyway, No Limits UDO.
Okay, well, I'm going for what could probably be my favorite album for that year. So I've heard this one. It's Bruce Dickinson's Chemical Wedding album, which is an absolutely fantastic album. I mean, back to front, it's so strong.
It is.
And I did actually leave this choice till last because I just knew that I could have anything off of it because it's just absolutely superb album. That's a good concept album, and all in it. He's a concept album, and it's brilliant. And I've chosen Book of Phil, which is just a great track. It's heavy. It's just Bruce Dickinson's really good on this album as well. He's got such a strong vocal. He's got that sort of aggression in his voice. He's like he sort of had in those, you know, a few years earlier for Maiden as well. Before he left the band, he's sort of really giving it 100%. But a brilliant song, an absolutely brilliant song. I actually didn't discover this. Probably discovered this album. I wasn't into it back then for some reason. But I can't believe how good he just get. I think that it got better and better of his solo stuff. This is probably the peak, and the one afterwards is very good, but probably not quite as good as Chemical Wedding. But I think as he, you know, compared to the first couple of albums, I just think he's fucking excellent. This is also had Adrian Smith on it as well, didn't it?
Yes.
This one, but absolutely superb album. You know, I think I think a lot of Maiden fans would have been happy with this album, didn't you? If it was
know,
a Maiden album.
No one really talks about a solo catalog, and I think they are just. I'm just going to say it. I think a lot of the solo catalog is a lot stronger than the stuff he's done since he's come back to Maiden. I'm just going to say it.
Well, this album especially, and that's why I said I think a lot of Maiden fans, if this was a Maiden record now, that'd be
people would be shitting their pants.
Yeah.
Well, of course, it went up against Virtual 11, didn't it? So, yeah.
We know which one won that battle, don't we? Neither one really.
No. That's it. Bruce Dickinson's my number 5, guys. Moving on to
I didn't like the film.
You do like
Sorry.
I didn't like the film Chemical Wedding. It was rubbish.
I don't think I've seen it.
I never saw it. It was bad, huh?
It's got famous English actor in it playing Crowley or someone like that.
Yeah.
Oh, what's his name? Anyway, but yeah, it's a film. I think it was done afterwards, and then this music's on the film, of course. But yeah, it's terrible. Check it out.
Okay. I love terrible horror films.
Exactly. I'm going to see it posted on Facebook. Dominic McCauley watching Chemical Wedding. Can't wait.
Yeah, there you go.
You could have my copy of the DVD if I could dig it out, but no.
Okay. Track 6 then, Jan.
Okay, right. 6. We're going to one of my favourite, if you like, new bands, even though this is 1998, but they're new, I suppose, when we're not talking classic Maiden, Aussie, that sort of thing. And that is Opeth, which are going to be featuring a lot from now on. They've already released 2 albums at this point. This is their 3rd, but you know, I'm not into death metal particularly, and the first albums are just a bit too much for me. This is still in that ballpark, but they are starting to introduce a bit more prog-y type stuff in it. I mean, this song, is From My Arms Your Hearse, is their 3rd album, and it's the song Demon of the Fall, which is one of the songs they do still to this day, because they don't do a lot off the first couple of albums. They don't do a lot of this. They sort of, from the album after this onwards, is where they play most of the stuff. And then obviously they're pretty much not very heavy at all these days. So, but this one they play quite often, Demon of the Fall. It sounds quite epic, but it's only 6 minutes long. But it's got some proggy bits in it, but it's still heavy. But when I say heavy, it's not totally really thrashy death metal, if you like. It's still quite tuned. You'd like the music. It's just that the singing is in a growling style. I mean, you can make out what he's singing. It's not like he's shouting, just inaudible words, but it's just growling, and you don't like that sort of stuff. But I like it anyway. It's about as far as I can get into that sort of lyrics. But this is Demon of the Fall, one of the great early Opeth songs.
You said that the next album, they started playing songs of it. Would the next album be that? Is it Blackwater Park, whatever it is? Is that the next?
That's coming up. I think it's Still Life next. But
is it? Okay, that's the album I hear a lot about. You know, that was that's like a major album.
Blackwater Park is brilliant, but Still Life is quite underrated, and it's got a lot of this. Some people say it's better. There you go. A lot of people rate Still Life higher than Blackwater Park.
Cool. I think the album covers scare me for a start.
Yeah, the quality. Not Heritage.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about them sort of black death metal type. You know, them black and white covers they have, and it's always a fucking lot of tree in the night. It fucking scares the shit out of me. To see true.
Good stuff.
You are one in a million, man. I love it.
Okay, what you got there, mate?
Okay. So we're on number 6. Yeah, I just want to Okay. Number 6, Slayer. Their 8th album, Diabolus in Musica, heavily regarded once again as their down-tuned new metal album. I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe a little bit. I mean, they did tour with Slipknot and stuff around this time, so I don't know. They were trying to keep an audience or gain a new one or something. I don't find the album offensive at all. Like, I don't go, oh, it's fucking new metal. I don't know. It still sounds like Slayer to me. You know, some of the things are a bit, I don't know. I think it's fine. Anyway, this is my favorite track. Always has been off the album. It's called Love to Hate. It's just a very kind of, you know, kind of your Slayer groove, isn't it? So there you go. I don't know what else to say about Slayer and Diabolus in Musica. Yeah. People regard it as their worst album. I don't know what their worst album would be, but I like this one anyway.
But they varied quite a bit during. I'm not a huge Slayer fan, but as far as I can see, they varied quite a bit in their career anyway, doing different stuff.
Yeah, I mean look at South of Heaven that came right after Rain and Blood, which is like one of the fastest, quickest albums in the world. Then South of Heaven completely slowed it down. So I don't know. They're not quite as one-dimensional as people think they are, but
exactly.
You can't please fans, man. You can't please fans.
They're always satisfying to me. So.
You do the same stuff all the time. You get moaned at. You do different stuff. You get moaned at. So what can you do? Okay. All right. Okay. I'm going.
It's not like they went and pulled a load or anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, go ahead.
I'm going back to a band that I've been to. I think every time they've released an album, it's Jaded Heart, the German melodic rock, hard rock band, and it's the title track Mystery Eyes. So, man, this is such a great song. It's got acoustic guitar, almost flamenco opening. That sort of picky sort of acoustic guitar, and that comes in and out of the song, even though it's not. It's sort of an AOR melodic hard rock song, but that flamenco guitar comes in and out of the song all the way through it. It's very cool. Michael Borman, the singer, he's just got such a great voice. I think I've said before, like when Bon Jovi could sing, way back when. There's a galloping riff in this as well, nearly all the way through it. So it's a very, very brilliant song. Mystery Eyes, the title track, Jaded Heart. So hopefully some people will check out Jaded Heart who are watching this, because I think they really, looking back, they've been going, this is their third or fourth album, I think. So they were sort of at the beginning trying to get that, for me, trying to get that music back that we've got now,
Yeah,
as far as I can see. So,
and they're still going now, right?
Yeah, but completely, they've gone fucking power metal now.
No, have they? Oh,
yeah, so they changed the singer. Michael Borman wouldn't sing power metal. He's like an AOR melodic hard rock singer. And now they've got some other singer, and it's all sort of like power metal stuff now. It's not catchy or completely changed.
Oh well, they got the old album.
You can always check out Jaded Hard though. Michael Borman.
Jaded Hard. Oh, yeah, it's all coming back to me now. Okay. Yeah, Jaded Hard. Yeah.
Anyway, okay, back to Jam for number 7.
Okay,
we've got some good stories, haven't we, behind some of these bands? It's fun. It's fun, isn't it?
Tell you, man. We are the business. I don't know what anybody else thinks. I think we're great.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, sorry, Jam. What you got, mate? Number 7.
No, it's all right. After one end of the spectrum with Opeth, I'm going right to the other side. I'm going with Pearl Jam.
Yeah.
And I think I've had everything from a song from every album, and I probably will continue because I do like Pearl Jam a lot. Even some people prefer them. At the early days, I still stuck with them. And I think this album, Yield, was one of the more consistent ones. It's probably... I like a lot of stuff. I like stuff off all the albums they've done, but I think this is probably the last one I really like, if you like. I like songs off the other ones after this, but this is Do the Evolution. Not my favourite song on the album. I like Faithful, Given to Fly, which we've already gone past. They've obviously not been picked. But it's a consistent album and a live favourite still to this day. And they did what they did on this tour. They brought out a live CD. I think it's called Live on Two Legs, which is probably the last time I ever got into a live CD, because these days bands just put out live albums every gig pretty much. I think Kiss and Metallica put every gig is now out live. You can get it for yourself. But this is sort of the last live album I got into for this tour, and sort of has a few memories for me back in the day. I think I bought this back at the time as well when it came out, which was obviously showed I was getting back into buying more metal again and rock. Just a great song. Do the Evolution, upbeat. Yeah, there you go.
Mention that Given to Fly. I love that song. But it's funny you talk about live albums. Yeah, it's another subject altogether, isn't it? But live albums used to be such a big thing for me when I was a kid. I look forward to them more than any other album, than studio albums back in the 80s and all that. That was huge, weren't they?
It was a real event, yeah.
Worldwide Live After Death, and all that.
Live in the Raw.
Yeah.
Wasp, yeah.
It really has changed, hasn't it?
Strangers in the Night.
Yeah.
UFO, that's their biggest album, probably.
Definitely.
Unleashed in the East. Judas Priest. Motorhead, No Sleep Till Hammersmith. All big albums, aren't they?
Definitely.
Oh, that like Thin Lizzy one. What was that called? Live and Dangerous, was it?
Live and Dangerous.
Yeah.
Not to mention Kiss Alive, which actually made
Alive,
the
of course.
band
Yeah.
popular. Yeah.
Exactly. Good. Anyway, that's another subject again.
Yeah.
Okay. What you got then, Dom? For your number.
Okay. Well, this is going to come maybe as a little bit of a surprise. I've never mentioned them before. And this genre of music, I'm not going to say I'm an absolute genius at all the bands in and out, but this is Cradle of Filth.
Oh,
blimey.
fucking hell.
Is that coming?
This is their third album, but the first one I ever got. The album is called Cruelty and the Beast, which is one of their classic ones. And this song is called The Twisted Nails of Faith. Now, the album itself is a concept album about Countess Bathory, who was supposedly like a female vampire sort back in the day. But there was a Hammer film that was made called Countess Vampires, starring Ingrid Pitt as Bathory. And the actress, Ingrid Pitt, actually does the narration on this album. So that was pretty cool.
That is cool.
Yeah. And I'm a huge Hammer fan and stuff. So that all fits in well. For real black metal fans, I think Cradle of Filth and the other one I like, Dimmu Borgir, I think they're kind of considered the boy bands of black metal. I think Cradle of Filth is probably like the Backstreet Boys of black metal. But I like a decent production and all that kind of stuff. And black metal is known for these productions that sound like they were recorded in somebody's cellar or something. So when this came out, I really liked it because they had like a full production, and there were other bands doing it as well, but Cradle of Filth definitely put the performance aspect in it as well. I've seen them a couple times, and they're a good gig as well. So there you go.
He's got a really strange voice, and he's got a really strange voice. It's a sort of, I don't know, I can't explain it. It's really weird. He's got a black metal voice, but it's sort of.
Well, and he can do about 3 different voices at once. Like in one song, he'll have like the growling, and he'll have like this. Great. I think I really like it. So anyway, there you go.
It surprised me actually. Your choice, but no, it's good, mate. They're a big band in that scene, aren't they? Really. So,
well, especially back then. This is when they were like the second coming or something. This is the last of the 3 with like the classic, I guess, original lineup. Anyway.
Okay, cool. Okay, so I'm going to Axel Rudy Pell, one of his 57 albums that he's brought out. This is Oceans of Time album, and the title track Oceans of Time. I've got a few title tracks I've noticed on my list. This is a ballad, very epic, very long, nearly 8 minutes long, 7 minutes and 47 seconds. Some great guitar work, and he's an amazing guitarist. I didn't realize until I've heard some of his guitar, and he's got a lot of emotion, especially in his ballads, if you like. Sort of reminds me of that, how sort of not the same sort of guitarist, but the emotion that Gary Moore used to give you when he'd done a ballad. That sort of real sort of like meaning it, if you like. This is the singer, because I think he's gone through a few singers. I'm not sure, but this is Johnny Gioli, who's also in Hardline.
Oh, great singer, yeah.
Yeah, does a real emotional performance to match the guitar as well. It's a very cool song. Like I said, I hadn't heard this song before I got my list together, but Axel Rudy Pell. Oh, it sounds like he's done some great stuff, actually. He seems to get stick for every album sounding the same. That's what I hear about him. Whether it does or not, here we go. Fans probably want him to sound the same, then just the same.
Yeah, I mean, if the tunes are good, man, I don't care. Keep on doing what you do, man.
I agree. So Axel Rudy Pell, Oceans of Time. There you go. Track 8, guys.
Cool. It's 7, wasn't it?
What?
That was 7, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
You want track 8, right?
Yeah, that's all right, mate.
Right.
I'd be worried for a minute. I thought I missed one. Yeah, right.
No worry, mate.
Right. Yeah. Another sign I'm struggling a little bit. I'm going to have to do a cover version, which we've had before, but as long as it's a good one. And I've gone with Metallica from Garage Inc. And I think this is one done originally for this one, because it wasn't on the original $5.98 EP or the revisited or any of that. I think this was for this one. So, but it's one of my favourites on there. I talked about it on a cover show, Turn the Page, Bob Seger. I really like that cover. And this is probably my second favourite one on there, and that's Astronomy, which is a Blue Oyster Cult cover. It just puts whole take on it, because I have heard the original one as well, probably afterwards actually, which is good as well. And this just has a heavier take where it gives it the chords and stuff like that, and I just like it. But yes, I was struggling a bit. It's a good album. Good album. And Metallica just into one of their bands. Every cover version, I can't think of a bad one they've done. Might be wrong. Probably some people might do, but I don't think there's a bad one they do. They just put a little spin on it. They don't change it, not a massive amount. It just gives them Metallica-esque and just a little spin. And this is exactly the same. They don't try and ruin it or try and make it completely different, but they do put their own spin on it. So there you go. Astronomy by Blue Oyster Cult, done by Metallica.
Nice.
Cool.
Good one, mate. Okay. Yeah, he's down here. Sorry.
That was a really big album when it came out, the double.
Yeah.
Metallica album.
It's a good song.
All right.
Okay.
Number 8.
What you got, Dom?
Okay. I've got Nuno Betancourt, who we know from Extreme and was also in Satellite Party, I believe. Was that right,
He was, yes.
Yeah. This is his band called the Mourning Widows. MOUR, like in mourning widows. They had 2 albums. This is the first one. The song I picked is Love is a Cigarette, probably my favorite track off of either album, to be honest. It's very similar to the last Extreme album, which I talked about at the time, a bit more stripped down, not quite as Queen, production and stuff. And he's singing, but, he's co-sang on Wholehearted and More Than Words and stuff. So we all know he's got a voice. He's kind of Richie Sambora-esque in that way. But he sounds great, and it's just got a great fucking, he loves his like funk grooves, but turned up to 10. It's just a continuation of what he does best. So yeah, there you go. The Mourning Widows. Nuno Betancourt still making some music here.
Great guitarist, no, absolutely brilliant guitarist. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to Toto for my number 8. Another ballad. I've noticed I've got 2 ballads in a row. That's not very good track listing, is it?
No.
I'm not surprised.
It's the usual for me, though, isn't it? This is called Last Love. It's off the Minefields album. Didn't know about this song either, just to let you guys know. Almost has got like a sort of a waltz feel to it. So okay. A bit of a strange one, really cool though, and a really soulful sort of chorus to a lot of sort of changing into a soulful chorus. Brilliant. Toto have got so many cool songs that I'm sort of discovering more and more actually doing this, which is very good. I mean, everyone knows Africa, don't they? Everyone knows Rosanna, but there's so much more than that. Great.
Well, it's the whole Journey syndrome, isn't it? It's the whole. Yeah. Only everybody knows Don't Stop Believing, and what else.
Exactly. But a very, very good ballad, really emotional, great song. Give it a listen if you haven't heard it. There you go. Toto, Last Love. Okay, track 9, guys.
Lovely.
Okay. All right, go to British band, and this is Orange Goblin on their album Time Traveling Blues, and it's a title track. These are a bit like what I was describing, Monster Magnet. I've got a lot of their albums. I've listened to quite a lot. They're sort of I have a similar problem remembering which songs are which. I've seen it live a few times, and but this is one that stands out. It's a title track. It's about 8 minutes long, 6, 7, 8 minutes long. It's quite good. It's got like a slow start and like a southern feel to it. I think Lee would like this one actually. They're sort of stoner rock, more than space rock, I guess, and stone rock. But they get quite heavy and they get quite fast on a few songs, not this one particularly. They are a good live band. I think they haven't got further because they're a bit strange. The front man is really, really tall, quite big. He's not massive, but he doesn't play any instruments. So he's just standing there with a microphone. He's sort of trying to dance around. It just looks a bit awkward to me, and I struggle to watch it a bit. And I think that's maybe why it seems like a nice bloke and whatever, but it just hasn't got the presence on stage to me. And I think it is massive. Yeah, it's really cool. And yeah, maybe that's why they haven't perhaps got a bit bigger. But they play on a lot of festival scenes, and they've done quite a lot of albums now. But this time, Travelling Blues is a really good song, worth checking out. I think something Lee will probably quite like. Actually, they're not full on stoner like Caius or anything like that. They're
just don't look at the fucking weird tall singer. Just listen to the music, you'll be all right.
Yeah, that's definitely better on vinyl, I
think. Excellent, mate. Cheers. Right, what you got?
I didn't realize they were gone this early.
Yeah,
I remember hearing about them in the 2000s.
Sorry, no, it's not even their first album, I don't think. I think it's their second album.
Wow. Good for them. All right.
There you go.
Cool.
Great.
What do we got? Okay. Going back to the Wild Hearts. Sorry, guys. This is an Odds and Sods album that came out this year called Landmines and Pantomimes.
Oh, right. Yeah.
It's all B-sides or previously unreleased cuts. They've got a few of these over their career. And they're one of those bands where their B-sides are just 30 seconds. I just love them. This song's called Got It on Tuesday. Just catchy as hell. Got like 3 different riffs going on in the song. Just great. I mean, I talk about them enough on here. So yes, I love the Wild Hearts. I think Ginger is a songwriting genius, and they can't really do much wrong. Well, except for Endless Nameless, but we are past that now. The pastures anew.
Even I like some of the riffing in that song you told me to listen to. There you go.
You did. Yeah. And major props to you for actually listening to it, because it's long.
yes, exactly.
But so there you go. It won't be the last time you hear the Wild Hearts, but yeah, Landmines and Pantomimes. It's a good rarities collection. Really good.
Cool. Cheers, mate. Okay, so I'm going to a solo album by Mark Free, now known as Marcy Free. Brought out Long Way From Love in this year, which is now known, probably done absolutely fuck all in sales at the time. But it's now another one of them albums that's known as one of the best AOR albums ever recorded.
Like Icon and Signal and
yes, there you go. So this one's called Look Love in the Eyes. It's actually not a ballad, even though it sounds like it is. Obviously, Mark Free was in King Cobra, which has been on the show, and you've mentioned that, Dom. This feels like a King Cobra song, but probably that softer stage they went through, because when they go through a real AOR stage more than a heavy rock stage and all, didn't they? They sort of changed about a bit, especially on the couple of albums. Was it Thrill of a Lifetime album when it went a bit softer? It feels a bit like something from that for me. Just a classic AOR song. I hadn't heard this song before either. So another one. I've really strong voice as well, Mark Free.
Oh yeah.
Now Marcy Free, I must say that. But no, really good. A really good album by the sounds of it. And yeah, lives up to the hype by the sounds of it. So there you go.
Cool.
Look Love in the Eyes. Check that one out. Okay, we're on track 10, guys. Cool. We're on the last track already.
Last track. Yeah.
I was just listening to the most recent Unruly Child album today. He still sounds great, man. Wow. Still singing.
She.
Ooh, did I do C?
Yes.
Sorry.
But it was an honest mistake. So
didn't mean to do that. Sorry. Yes.
But no, he had a great voice, and she's got a great voice.
He has a great voice.
Yeah, there you go. Right, okay. Track 10, guys, what you got?
Track 10, I'm going for debut album from, what would you describe these as? Everyone's heard of them, but System of a Down. There you go. From their debut album, and it's a song, Peephole. I don't know how you describe them. Their System of a Down are unique. They're System of a Down, aren't they? Second album, I prefer.
Armenian metal, Armenian new metal, whatever it is.
Yeah, that'll do.
Anyway, yeah.
No, this is a song, Peephole. Basically, I knew I liked the whole album at the time. Well, I've listened to System of a Down for a long time. I mean, they did 4 albums, didn't they? And 2 of them are sort of back to back. So I just had a quick spin of the album, and I thought, well, I liked it all, so I knew I wasn't a problem. So I just left it till last. I just put people. I knew I'd struggle with track 10, so I just put it on there. It's just a typical System of a Down song, upbeat and changes, lots of different changes. You wouldn't call it progressive, but every song's got different bits to it, hasn't it? Because that's just the way the System of a Down are. So
they can blow people's fucking mind on a listen, can't they? Like they can. They can just the expression you usually get is, "What the fuck is this?" Is the expression you get when System of a Down play.
Yeah, if you could get a non-metal fan, you could probably pick some songs that you could introduce them, and probably maybe they might go, "Oh, this is I could like." You put them, anybody put obviously death metal or anything, but they'd hate that. But if you put them on this, they go, "What the fuck is that?" As you say, because it's just so all over the place. But that's why they're successful. Something different, wasn't it? Doesn't always work.
Yeah, agreed. I like some of this stuff, not all of it, but I do like some of it. So there you go. Okay, Don, what you got for your track 10, mate?
Track 10 for me is King's X. Still making records. Still keep going. This is their 7th album called Tapehead. Good album. Maybe even a bit heavier for them as a whole. Good album. This is called Happy. Just kind of a groove, heavy groove. I love Pinnock's voice. I really do. He really creates a mood, I think. And, it's more the same, I guess. They definitely have their own sound. They do vary. Sometimes they're a bit softer. This one's a bit heavier, a bit darker. But still very recommendable for me. King's X.
Cool. Okay. I'm finishing off with a proper bit of metal. I am. So a bit of Primal Fear. There you go. Primal Fear, yeah. So their debut album, which was a self-titled album. Track 10, obviously, is called Battalions of Hate. How about that for fucking metal? How about that? This is a real metal. It is a proper fucking metal song. The guitar is like turned up to 15, if this is possible. Chuggy, sort of a priesty feel. I won't mention the singing again. It's great. There's some great singing on this though. This is probably easily the heaviest song on the list. Actually, it's fucking really heavy. I mean, they actually got more sort of epic sounding later on. This album is like full metal all the way through. You won't find much slowing down on it. Very cool though. And of course, Ralph Sheeper's my favourite person in metal, isn't he?
Yes, yeah.
Exactly. If you're watching, Ralph, I love you, man.
Let's all let bygones be bygones.
Yes, exactly. And he never auditioned for the Judas Priest, in case you two are wondering.
Awful dirty rumor.
Yes.
Dirty rumor.
Exactly. Yeah. So there you go.
We're all just brothers in metal, man. Let's just move on.
Brothers in metal. Exactly. All right. I don't know if James is going to have any honourable mentions here. He was struggling a little bit, I think. But where you got anything, mate?
Not a few. I mean, there's not really metal, but Beastie Boys brought out Hello Nasty, which I liked. But it wasn't really any rock tracks on this one particularly, but it was quite good at the time. Black Sabbath had Reunion out, which was obviously a live album, but they had 2-3 new tracks on it with Ozzy obviously singing, which were quite good. Weren't classics, but they're pretty good. Halloween brought out Better Than Raw, but couldn't really find anything off that I liked. And Mayfield 4, which is Miles Kennedy's first band, brought out their debut album, I believe, Fallout. Something I've never got around to listening to. I had a quick listen. It's not Alter Bridge, let's put it that way. I don't know if I'll listen to it or not. We'll see. And the only other one was Space Age Playboys, which was Corey Clark's new band, named after their last Warrior Soul album with new rock underground. But I did listen to it at the time, but it didn't blow me away. So I think that's it.
Cool.
I actually saw Space Age Playboys in Los Angeles, and they were doing this whole kind of retro glam thing, wearing like big platform shoes and like glittery like bell-bottom trousers and stuff. They're pretty good actually, but definitely before he just became a complete waste case. Lovable waste case, by the way.
Yes,
but,
yes.
I do have a couple mentions. David Lee Roth released an album called the DLR Band, independent album. I'm not saying it's fair warning or anything, but it was the first one since Skyscraper probably that was just like, well, no, I guess little ain't enough, but it had been nearly 10 years. And it was just straight ahead, rock and roll. John Five, the guitar player, is playing guitar on it. And then the band, there was a LA covers band called Atomic Punk that was quite popular. They're his backing band on this as well. So it's a bit thrown together. I think it was recorded in like 5 days or something, but it does kind of have the spirit of Roth and his partying. He's not trying to do anything else, It's pretty good. King Diamond Voodoo is actually a pretty strong album for King Diamond, but I just, couldn't find any room for it. Gilby Clarke, another one of my favorites, his third album, Rubber, which was quite good. Enough's Enough, Paraphernalia, fantastic album, but I just figure I talk about them enough, so I didn't put them in the list, but I'm sure they'll find a spot at some point. But that's not to say it's not a good album, because it's a great album, Paraphernalia by Enough's Enough. Then the last thing is that Skid Row brought out their best of called 40 Seasons, and it had an unreleased track called Forever, which is my favorite Skid Row song of all time. How that didn't make the first album. How that didn't make the first album, I have no idea. It is catchy.
Yeah, I'm going to check that
fantastic. Oh, God, it's so good. In the backseat of my Chevrolet.
See, I'm even writing this down.
Was it called Forever?
So good. Forever, yeah. And it was an unreleased track from, I guess, the first album sessions.
Oh, right.
Nice.
Could have been a single as far as I'm concerned, but it's fantastic. So yeah, if you haven't heard Forever by Skid Row, I can check that out, man.
I'm definitely going to check that out.
So
I've got it. I've just never listened to it.
By the way, I'm not doing it.
I think it's the very last track on like a 17-track best of or something. So it's easy to lose. But,
just to let you know, my hand's moving. I don't think you two are that good looking or anything. I've just got the dog down. Just to let you know. Just stroking the dog.
Let me see what's going on down there.
In case you thought my hand was doing some weird,
I just, you never know.
Is that why you got the red light on in the background?
Exactly.
Open for business, this one.
Okay, right. I've got a few mentions about albums that were out. These were sort of on my list, if you like. If I had to go to them, I would have done. So it's maybe worth a mention that they were out. Black Label Society, another album, Sonic Brew, came out. So I was getting ready to look at that, but I didn't have to. Jerry Cantrell, Boggy Depot.
Oh, yeah, I'm surprised.
The only thing I didn't really get into that album. I had heard that. I loved the Degradation Trip that he brought out a few years after. But this was a bit of a weird one. I don't know.
And Jam, you didn't listen to that one either.
Yeah, no, I'm the same. I think it was a bit. I didn't know he'd brought it out till later. I looked back at it, and then I got the one we'll talk about. Probably will talk about. That was more Alice in Chains style. This was sort of something a bit different, perhaps something I didn't. I might like it. I just haven't heard it, but it's definitely not Alice in Chains style. Put it that way. I don't think.
Definitely. Ed Guy brought Vainglory Opera out. I like a bit of Tobias Sammet. I think that's how you pronounce his name. In other stuff, I didn't get into the early Ed Guy stuff. There was an album I really liked, which I might mention at a later stage though. Van Zandt, so the singer of Lynyrd Skynyrd, he brought an album called Brother to Brother out. So he had his other brother, which I can't fucking remember his name now. They made an album together, very much in the vein of.
So Ronnie is the one that died, right?
Ronnie died.
Ronnie, and then the
Johnny. Yeah, I can't remember the other brother who made this album. Okay. I can't remember, but it's very Skynyrd sounding, very southern. It's about the good old times, you know what I mean? Leaving your door open, unlocked, and all that rubbish, that sort of thing.
God and Guns.
God and Guns, exactly. Also, Zeno. I've mentioned Zeno before. Zeno Roth. Yeah. Listen to the Light album out.
Wow.
I would have put something like that on when I got to my last sort of tracks. Get out of it, you little shit. Sorry, it's the dog. Get out.
Talking to his wife. Terrible.
I would have had something off of this album, but the track listing, because of Jam's rules, just didn't quite work out the ones I wanted on. But there you go.
God damn you.
And I had Pearl Jam Yield, because I did like a couple of tracks. Although at this point in time, I was slowly losing interest in Pearl Jam. But at this stage, I'm just like you, where you Jam, you carried on. I think this was the last one for me. Yeah, I didn't listen to the rest, but there's some good tracks on here. Given to Fly being one of the great track. That's it.
I like the album cover. I'll give you that. I really like that album cover.
It's just got the fucking sign in it, and the
they should have done a British version that said "Give Way." I mean, that's wouldn't it?
Exactly.
But wasn't the CD cover like cut out? So when you took the CD out and then
not on mine.
Thingy?
No, mine was a one of them. What they call it? With the cardboard one where the front that flips open. One of them ones.
Oh, Digipack.
Digipack. Yeah, mine was a Digipack.
Maybe I'm mistaken.
My one was as well. Yeah. Yeah, but maybe it was. Maybe there was another version. I don't know.
Well, the US version is probably better. Maybe.
Yeah. My guys, that's absolutely brilliant. It has been fun, and some stories coming out as well, some bands as well we don't know about, so that's brilliant. But it's nice to see Jam struggle a little bit, I must admit.
Not too bad.
Because well, I mean, I'm struggling every year now. The next one looks terrible for me, but I'll be discovering some more music again, some new music though, which is good. So, I mean, I think I said earlier on, I've actually got 27 albums of possibilities, and I think I've heard 2 of them. Not good.
So we'll see in about 4 weeks then. Is that right?
Mate, no, it'd be all right. It'd be fine. I do manage to get through it quite quick, but there's a lot of music I'm obviously still missing. But it's just one of those things, isn't it? But it is fun.
Hey, isn't it great though? You've got all this new music to go back and listen to now, though.
No, it's not.
Oh no, you still have all this new stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I think when it gets I don't know what year it's going to be, but I'm going to be so happy when it gets to like 2004 or something like that, and then literally I'm going to have tons, because that's when I started to get right back in it again. So there you go. All right, guys, thank you very much for joining me again. It's been absolutely fantastic. Like I said before, everyone just put their out. They are, without, they're all putting their choices down, which is great.
Yeah.
So that's brilliant.
Keep
that up. Keep watching, guys, because we're still getting a lot of views. Everyone, obviously, apparently this was voted the most popular show on YouTube in the world.
Ah, brilliant. Good news.
There you go.
We're going to put like a disclaimer along the video saying.
I'll tell you what, Jam's got a lot to live up to though, because when this is all done, he's got to come up with something else. Tell you this now.
Yeah. I'm thinking.
Oh my God.
What was that, Dom?
I was going to say, God, there's going to be an end to this at some point. That's sad.
I know. Well, next year will be a couple of years and we're halfway, aren't we? I guess.
Well, we can do one a year. We can do one a year, but we want to do more than that, don't we?
Good Lord, can you imagine? We're like 80. Hey,
I'll tell you what, the way music's released now and how many albums, you could do all killer, no filler for the month.
For the month, yeah.
So you could. It's ridiculous. Anyway.
I might give you an idea, actually.
Oh, see, there you go. All right, get back to us on that, man. I'm looking. Yeah, excellent. All right, thanks for joining me, guys, as always, and I'll see you soon.
Thanks, guys. See ya.